Hey, what's going on, everybody? I hope you are all having a great day so far. And today, what I wanted to talk about was time, and specifically your time, my time, our time, and how we choose to spend it. Because I don't know if you saw my last video, it was about drugs and alcohol, and that might not relate to everybody, so you may not have seen it. But what I talked about was how when you're smoking and drinking in your free time, how that can kind of develop into a habit where when you break free from that, you don't know how to spend your time, all the free time you now have. But I don't think that's consistent to just drugs and alcohol. I think a lot of us, not even habits, I'd want to call them addictions to things that we don't realize. And when we break free from that, you have so much time, you have so much you can do with your life. And the way you spend your time really defines how you spend your life. So I wanted to talk about that and maybe share some ideas, some realizations that I've had that have really made me feel better personally about how I'm spending every moment of my life, essentially. So where I want to start is with TV, social media, the internet. I'm not going to go too far into alcohol and substances in this video because I think most of us can see how that does waste time, and that's not really the point, and there is a video if you'd like to see more about that. But when it comes to TV, internet, social media, phones, it can be so toxic, and we hear that term a lot. We hear it on the internet, this is toxic, that is toxic, wasting your time, but I don't think a lot of us really grip what's happening. Is Instagram, I'm gonna start with this, and I don't mean to sound like I'm going into any rabbit holes with conspiracies, but if you think about what I'm saying, I think it may make a lot of sense. Is a lot of you on Instagram may know that when you refresh, you never see the actual feed. It's always kind of scrambled, like some things will be from the past, some things will be right now. You never see a live feed, you can never catch up. And why do you think that is? Why do you think Instagram doesn't fix a feature that so many people don't like? Because if you catch up, you will stop using their app. And it's the same with Facebook, Twitter. Doesn't really matter how the algorithm is, YouTube, TikTok, when their goal is for you not to stop using their app. They are a business, they make money. When you use their app, they profit. And that's not necessarily a corrupt idea, that's not a crazy idea. That's the system we live in. And the more time you give to them, people will start to realize that they have sold us on these free services, even porn too. Porn, Instagram, all these things, they will hook us. We'll get likes, we'll have these reasons we want to stay, we'll see what our friends are doing, we'll be jealous, or we'll want to join them, or we'll want to change things, but we won't be doing anything. We'll be sitting there swiping. Maybe we'll switch and we'll go to another social media, another thing on the internet, and we will just be in this state of just not feeling good. You can't just constantly see your feed. If you're looking at it all day, it's not going to be that positive energy. And even if you only follow or watch positive things, you're not living what you're seeing. It's your subconscious may not know the difference. We learn about that in neuroscience, how the subconscious, when it starts to watch TV or you start to get in that trance state where you're just kind of locked in, you're couch locked, even if you're sober, your brain waves lower and your subconscious can't tell the difference. So you may be watching this movie and it may fill your body with chemicals, your hormones like serotonin, dopamine, anything like that will convince you that you understand you're not watching the movie, but you feel like you are. You feel like you're living that experience. And even if it's not that deep, when you're scrolling through it, it's affecting your life. If you have FOMO, fear of missing out, then you feel bad when you see your friends partying. And even if you try not to be jealous, there's so much negativity on the internet, whether it's with the politics in 2020, there's so much going on, or whether just anything. You're sitting there wasting your time being filled with hormones, doing nothing. And I'm saying hormones, that's probably not the right term, but you know what I mean. With your body's releasing serotonin, dopamine, or all these chemicals, but you're not doing anything. You're not progressing towards anything. What are you going to do on Instagram? You're going to finally see everything? No. You're not going to have that moment on Instagram or Snapchat where you get everything you wanted. They're not going to fulfill anything for you, and they are free services. You may be choosing to use them, but you are being sold. And unfortunately, a lot of these services, I don't want to go too far into this, but I want to say it, is you are being bought and sold. Is you are using this, you are giving away everything that advertisers, everything that marketers want to know, and they are paying top dollar from these services. So I don't want to go too far into that because that's a whole different topic. But when you start to understand that these are companies, they want to make money, and unfortunately it's a free service, so their profit is coming off of you. Whether it's advertisements, which we may or may not know we're seeing, we may not realize something is an advertisement in the moment, or whether they're just selling our personal information. Now, I don't want to go too into that. I'm going to stop now. But once you see that these are companies, when you put them down, how do you feel? If you thought about going a day without any social media, without looking at your phone other than necessities like for work, without any Netflix, YouTube, any of those services, porn, I don't want to go too much into that either, but it is one of those free services a lot of people, especially men, waste far too much time with. And when you stop doing that, even if it's just to imagine it, what do you see yourself doing? It's very similar to alcohol and drugs in that respect, where you have been consumed, you have been on this substance, I'll call it, but it's the internet, it's the TV. You have been doing it for so long. How are you going to live without it? How are you going to live without them, the media, the news, the internet telling you what to think, what to do? When you take a step back, when you disconnect, and you realize that your soul is in your body, and you have your mind, and you are here in this moment, the internet is not here with you. It's an idea, it's a concept. You're watching something someone made months ago. You're watching a post that someone is not, it's not a live stream or any sort. Even if it is a live stream, you may be in the moment, but you're filling your head with delusions, these ideas. Is you're making these structures, these social structures, by seeing social media. This person has this many followers, this person has this many likes. You're comparing everything, you're judging everything, you're thinking of all these ideas in your head, all these ideas that don't exist, that don't matter. Even when it comes to the news, there's a lot of sad things going on in the world, and I'm not trying to deny the fact that there is a lot of bad things happening. But in your life personally, you need to focus on yourself. It's okay to be a little selfish. If you're not watching the news, having them tell you how bad the world is, if you're not on social media being told how sad you are, then would you really be that upset? Well, there's a lot of depression, there's a lot of people that feel they don't fit in, but if you just choose to be in the moment, to interact in person, to avoid this, and this can be hard for people with social anxiety or things where the internet makes it better, but it's understanding the internet is a crutch. I like social media, I go on it, I like to see what my friends are doing, I want to know what's going on, I like talking to people, but for a while I was consumed thinking that this was my life, that, oh, this is what I see every day, this is what I do, this is what I think. But it wasn't what I think, it's not what I thought, and it's what they thought, it's what I was told to think. And if you're on Instagram and you're sad, and you're told to be sad, then you see an advertisement, it's gonna be all better. You'll buy this, you'll feel better. You're watching the news, the world is awful, you vote for so-and-so candidate versus so-and-so candidate, your world is better. You trust us, this is free, and we will help your world be better. But no, that's ridiculous. So you need to understand what the internet and social media and all these things wasting our time is. It's people trying to sell you things. And when you know that, you can go on and enjoy it to an extent, because I'll go on Instagram, I'll see what my friends are doing, but I won't let myself get caught up in the moment, because in the moment, I'm a guy on my phone wherever I am, sitting on a couch maybe, I might be sitting in my apartment. I'm a guy sitting in my apartment breathing air using my phone. I am not my Instagram feed. The ideas on my Instagram feed, whether I agree with or disagree with, what I agree with is not me. It's an opinion that I have. And when you do that, you open yourself up so much more. You're so much more free, especially with your time. When you realize you don't need to be consumed with these things, you have so much more time. And this video is not for me to tell you what to do with your time. It's to tell you that when you have that time, when you realize that you are a free thinker away from social media, that you can have your own thoughts. And you may not want to display your own thoughts because it may upset some people, and you may need to be cautious with that. But when you have your own thoughts, your own opinions, when you separate and realize you are not a part of your TV, then the world opens up to you. You'll have so much free time. And what do you want to do with that? You can learn a skill. You can go out and interact with people. You can grow. We like to live, it's not even meditative states, it's vegetative states we choose to live in. And we're told that's what we want. We want to work 9 to 5 and come home and sit on the couch and eat our fatty, preservative-filled dinner, feel sluggish, and then wake up in the morning, drink your coffee, smoke your cigarettes on the way to work, and then while you're at work, you're working, you're making money, you go on your break and you use your free services, and then you go and buy stuff, and then you go home, and then you eat poorly made food, you watch your TV, and then you just don't feel well, and you always will wonder, what is going on? Why don't I feel well? 50 years ago, maybe there was less knowledge on mental health. 100 years ago, there's definitely less knowledge on mental health. But were people as upset as they are today? The people who were safe, the people who lived the same quality of life as you 100 years ago, would they have been happier without all of this? Would you be happier without all of this? And if the answer is yes, if you think the answer is yes, you don't need to abandon it because that's not balance. And it could be, that could help for you, but just quitting everything, the social media, a detox, that could be great. But personally, what I found is just understanding what it is, that it's not me, that it's not very important to my life. Social media, Instagram is not important to my life. And when I understood that, now I can use it in my free time if I'm bored or if I want to see what my friends are doing, but you don't get caught up in the moment. And I think that's something a lot of people need to hear. And a lot of people who might not realize it, a lot of people I'll see will judge people who are on social media and then they'll use a different platform all day. Like they'll be like, oh, Instagram, Snapchat, no. And then they'll be on Facebook all day reposting crazy fake news or whatever you want to call it. We all have that aunt that'll post something. But yeah, that's really what I wanted to get into today. I don't want the video to be too long. There are probably a few things in this video I could branch and make other videos for. So let me know if you want to hear that. But just really take your power back. Take your time back. Human labor, human time, our effort is the most valuable resource on earth. Probably in the world. Probably in the universe. If getting someone to do what you want them to do, that's the most valuable thing. That's more valuable than money. And I'm not saying that should be your goal, but that is the goal of a lot of these platforms, is get them to vote this way, get them to spend this way, get them to live this way, because when they live this way, they pay us for what we tell them to pay us for. And understanding that is really what's going to set you free and take your power back. So I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you can learn from this video, and I hope you all have a great day. Stay safe out there.